Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Assalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome everyone to the virtual open day of INCEIF University, where you will learn all about our programs from our micro certification, professional certificate, our master's program, and our PhD programs, all available here at INCEIF University. My name is Aizuddin. It is my pleasure to be your MC. And if you are looking for a place to further your studies and to pursue to empower your career within the industry of Islamic banking and finance, this is the right place to be, because INCEIF University is the leading institution of Islamic finance education worldwide. So today you will be getting a brief introduction about INCEIF University, what we're about, how we have been shaping the future and the landscape of Islamic finance worldwide. And you also learned about our face-to-face programs, in-person programs available on campus at Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And also you'll be learning a bit about more on our online programs we have to offer, from micro certification to professional certificate, and also to our master's online master's program, and of course our PhD programs. And towards the end, we will also be giving a special session or a briefing session on the scholarship opportunities or options available, both internally and as well as some external scholarships available for you, inshallah. So first off, to give you a brief welcoming remarks or opening remarks and introduction about INCEIF, some of our programs, and please welcome to the screen Mr. Hasnul Muhammad Yunus. He is the Director of the Strategic Marketing and Partnerships here at INCEIF University. Without any further ado, Mr. Hasnul, over to you.
Thank you, Brother Izzuddin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A very good afternoon, good morning, good night, good day, wherever you are. My name, as mentioned by Brother Izzuddin, my name is Muhammad Hasnul bin Muhammad Yunus. I am the Director of Strategic Marketing and Partnership at INCEIF University. I will bring you through a brief introduction of INCEIF University. So there are a few slides that we have prepared here. Let me go through the slides as we can see here. All right. Okay. Just a second. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, INCEIF University, we are celebrating our 20th anniversary. We were founded by the Central Bank of Malaysia, the Bank Negara Malaysia, back in 20th December 2005. With a clear vision that was framed by the previous governor of the Central Bank of Malaysia to meet the growing demand for expertise for the industry itself. At that time, Tan Sri Zeti, as well as the leadership of the country, we had a very clear vision of looking to develop the industry, where Malaysia should be shaping and leading the industry. Hence, the vision of INCEIF University is to be the knowledge leader in Islamic finance. Started small, but with a big aim, a big objective to make sure that the industry has the a steady flow of human capital that would not only shape, develop, but as well as to grow the industry itself. Right. So if you look here, like I mentioned, we are celebrating our 20th anniversary. 20th anniversary, it's, to some, it's a very long journey, to some, it's a short journey. But throughout the journey that we have gone through, INCEIF has managed to put these three items or three things here. Proven credibility with 2 decades of advancing the industry, namely the Islamic finance education through research and industry practices. Number 2, global impact. We are not only shaping talent, but we are also influencing policy right? We have at not only at national level in Malaysia, but as well as the global policy when it comes to the Islamic finance industry, and as well as supporting institutions worldwide. Last but not least, enduring relevance. Our integrated ecosystem spanning academia, research, and advisory is ready to build the future of ethical finance, not only in Malaysia, but as well as at global level. So these are the areas that we believe that put INCEIF not only as the leader in Malaysia, but as well as a global leader for the Islamic finance education. Now, 20th, the 20 years of INCEIF, we have seen the growth of the institution. We started as at a very modest setup in Kuala Lumpur, and then we moved to a slightly bigger campus somewhere in Kuala Lumpur before moving to the campus right now where we are in the center of Kuala Lumpur. Now, we started as a small with certification program, and then we move to a full-fledged university, right? So we are not offering undergraduate program, but we are focusing on postgraduate program, master's, PhD, and as well as some professional certification, with the idea of having the whole comprehensive ecosystem of the Islamic finance being developed at INCEIF, and as well as bringing up the human capital needs for the global at the global scene. Now, throughout the journey, we have been accredited by the AACSB, the American Collegiate Business School accreditation. This is something very unique. This is something not every universities have been given the accreditation. This is only for the top 6% of business school globally. And at Malaysia, we are among the few that has been given the AACSB accreditation for the whole university. Now, if you look at the who's who at INCEIF University, we are talking about a number of 2,830 alumni. This is as of November 2025. It is not big, but I think the number itself tells you a story. Who's who? Where are they right now? They are among those who, the captains of the industry, those people who are shaping the policy, CEOs, and as well as, academia in various universities globally. Our students came from 90 countries with a steady composition of almost 50-50 when it comes to the local and international students. As of now, it ranks at between 56 to 50% composition for the local, and 44%, and sometimes it can also be as high as 50% to the international students as well. Now, when it comes to the students that we have, we had a little study that we have done. It shows that 81% of our students, they come to INCEIF University because they know that INCEIF University is something that can promise them a brighter future when it comes to their career prospects in Islamic finance. And 79% of those are working in the educational and financial services industries. Apart from that, there was a recent survey that we have done internally, looking at where our alumni members are, comparing to another university in Malaysia who are also offering the Islamic finance courses or degree programs and post-degree programs. Well, what we have found is that the number of our alumni, the number of our graduates are well sought when it comes to industry. We have a higher number of graduates or our alumni sitting in leading institutions, corporate institutions, financial institutions, regulators and whatnot, compared to the other university who most of the alumni members, they would be accepted, or those people are being developed to be academic or academicians, not at the corporate level. So what I'm trying to say here is that those people who graduated from INCEIF with a higher number being sought by our industry globally. Now, when it comes to INCEIF leadership, INCEIF is being steered by 5 of our C-suite, led by our President and CEO, Professor Emeritus Dato Dr. Azmi Omar, the gentleman in the middle. He has a vast experience not only in the academic, but as well as serving in several capacity in the regulatory board, in the research institute and whatnot. Prof. Azmi, Prof. Dato Dr. Azmi brings about a number of years of experience leading INCEIF for the past couple of years. He is being supported by our Deputy President. The first on the left is Professor Dr. Mansur Ibrahim. He is our Deputy President, Academic and Dean. We have Dr. Marjan Muhammad. She is the Deputy President of Research. We have the CFO, Chief Financial Officer, Raja Muhammad Shahdan Raja Muhammad, who is also a staff from the Central Bank. He is being put by the Central Bank of Malaysia as the CFO at INCEIF University. And last but not least, our management team is Dr. Muhammad Iskandar Shah Muhammad Rasid, who is the CEO of ISRA Consulting. Right. So these are the 5 management team members at INCEIF University that is charting, that is developing not only internally, but as well as the where do you want to take the student of INCEIF moving forward. Now, when it comes to the expertise that sets it apart, so we have more than 20 experts in Islamic finance and sustainability. You name it. You have Islamic finance and Islamic economics expert. We have Sharia and Fiqh al-Mu'amalat experts. We have accounting, auditing, corporate Sharia governance experts. We have ethics and leadership experts. You have sustainable finance expert. All put up together with the same mission to elevate, to build, to develop the next level of leadership when it comes to the leaders of the Islamic finance industry, right? So these are some of our faculty members. As I mentioned earlier, it is led by Professor Dr. Mansur Ibrahim. He's our Deputy President Academic and Dean. We have 2 ladies who are helping Professor Mansur as the Associate Deans. One is Professor Dr. Aisyah Muniza, who she heads the students and internalization. And then we have Associate Professor Dr. Maya Puspa. She is heading the academic curriculum and accreditation. Now, what unique about the composition of our faculty members, you can see, or you will see, that it's a mix of men, male and female, young and old, Malaysian and also international, those who came from the academia, and those who came with a quite number of years of industry experience. So it's a great mix. We do have a great mix of students, local, international, but as well as we have a great mix for the academia, which not only add on to the learning experience, but it's also building up potential network, right, for the future of your of the students. People like you, we do have students who are ministers, who are leading CEOs of international organizations and whatnot. So moving forward, you'll be networking with those who's and who in the industry. For example, Professor Dr. Aisyah Muniza, who is the students and internalization head. She is from Maldives. She was the deputy minister at one time in Maldives. And then you have the heads of our programs, right? For example, Professor Dr. Yunus Solhi, he is the head of PhD Applied Muamalat. He is from Algeria. You have Professor Dr. Said Abdul Hamid Al Junid. He is the head of program for Masters in Islamic Finance Practice, MIFP. We have Associate Professor Dr. Turale Kench, PhD in Islamic Finance. Professor Turale, he was the Deputy Governor for the Central Bank of Turkey. And you have also another experienced scholar, Associate Professor Dr. Ziad Muhammad, who is the head of program for our Executive Masters in Islamic Finance, IMIF. And 2 young upcoming scholar in our at INCEIF. One is Assistant Professor Dr. Ali Zhang, who is the head of program for Masters of Science in Islamic Finance, MSc, and as well as Associate Professor Dr. Ismail Nizam, who heads the MBA program. Now, Dr. Ali Zhang is from China. Dr. Ismail Nizam is from Maldives, and Associate Professor Dr. Ziad, he is from South Africa. Again, we have a mixture of those people coming from the academia, from the industry, as well as from different various geographical area that that enrich the learning experience at INCEIF University. These are some of the professors and assistant and associate professors and teaching fellows at INCEIF. As you can see, again, it's a mix of Malaysians and international, male and female, with vast experience, years of experience. We do have, for example, people like Professor Dr. Amir Shahrudin. He was the CEO of Waqaf in Malaysia. So he brings in years of experience when it comes to Islamic social finance. We do have people like Datuk Professor Dr. Ashraf Ahmad Hashim, a leading Sharia scholar, who also sits in the National Fatwa Council and several other Sharia board, not only in Malaysia but at a global level. And of course, people like Datuk Professor Dr. Muhammad Al-Kram Naldin, to name a few here on the slides. Now, when you talk about INCEIF, what do we offer? Initially, I mentioned that we are a boutique. We can say that we are a boutique university that offer postgraduate programs. Right? We do not offer any undergraduate programs. So the journey at INCEIF starts from the master's level. Right? When you talk about masters, we have the masters in Islamic finance courses, which comes in various flavors. Number one is the Executive Masters in Islamic Finance, IMIF. This is purely online, 100% conducted online. We have the Masters in Islamic Finance Practice, MIFP. You have the Masters of Science in Islamic Finance. And then last but not least, the MBA in Sustainable Business. Now, I'm just going through this briefly because we have a very detailed presentation by our faculty members in detail, where you can fully understand what it takes for you to take the journey at INCEIF University, and upon graduation, what are the opportunities that waiting for you outside in the industry. Now, apart from the masters, we do have a PhD program, right? Our PhD program is being offered either by research or by coursework and dissertation. We have PhD in Islamic finance by research. We have PhD in Islamic finance by coursework and dissertation, and as well as something new that we just about to offer or launch, which is the PhD in Applied Muamalat. This is really unique. We have Professor Dr. Said Bahrawa later sharing a bit about what are the details about the PhD Applied Muamalat. And obviously, we have things like micro certification as well as professional certification. Because when we talk about masters and PhD, we're talking about commitment. We're talking about real focus, right? There's quite a number of those working adults who have spent years developing their careers, but they're not ready to take a full-fledged master's or PhD program. So what we did was we slice and dice the master's program, for example, that is having 12 courses. If you do not have the commitment or do not have the time presently, you can take 3 courses, which we term as professional certificates. So the 3 courses from the master's program, you take all 3 in one semester. You'll be you finish the 3 courses. These 3 courses are stackable, right, towards a full-fledged master's program. For example, you completed 3 courses from the MBA Sustainable Business. You take what we call as professional certificate in MBA. So upon completion of the 3 subjects, all right, so the 3 subjects, obviously terms and conditions apply. You can transfer the credit towards a full-fledged master's program. All right, so it is something stackable. It is something that you can work throughout the years. You have your own career, you have your own family and whatnot, but at the same time, you have the ambition to move upwards toward the corporate ladder. This is something that you may also look into. Now, if you think that 3 courses is a little bit too much for you as well, but we do have what we call as a micro certification, which is a single course that we carve from the master's program. So we do have, micro certification from our IMIF program. We have micro certification from our MBA Sustainable Business. We have micro certification from MIFP and as well as MSc. So these courses will be detailed a little bit more in the next coming session from our faculty members, inshallah. Now, one of the things that we think that is unique when it comes to our face-to-face master's program is what we call as action-based learning. Again, this is something that I'll briefly bring you through. It will be spelled out in more detail a bit later. Action-based learning is where students who are taking the master's face-to-face program, you will be involved in providing solution to real problems, right? For example, you will be working in a group with other colleagues of yours, right? So we have what we call as ABL partners. So the ABL partners will have a real life corporate problem that needs solution. So you, as a mini consultant, yes, we develop, we train, we want you to feel we want you to be part of the solution giving to the real world problem. So you'll be guided with subjects, with our faculty members, and as well as a rep from the ABL partner to look into how you can come up with your solution to the problem, right? So we had up to till date, we have about 31 collaborative partners with 42 completed projects consisting of 37 local projects in Malaysia and 5 international projects. It is something very what you call unique, where you will learn about strategic decision making. You learn about things which normally a consultant would do at the career level, right? Now, let's take a look briefly about the student experience at INCEIF University. You're not going to learn there at INCEIF University all the time. No. You get the chance to connect, you get the chance to grow, you get the chance to move around. We have a student mobility program, as you can see on the slides right now. We have been lining up our students, going throughout Malaysia, going at international level. Recently, some of the students were in Jakarta for a student mobility program in Jakarta. And then we have activities such as hiking, and then you have things like coming to the local culture. We take you to some of the states in the south of Malaysia to learn a bit about the local culture, and it's an engagement program that we designed for you to immerse yourself at the local community in Kuala Lumpur, in Malaysia, and whatnot. So this is something which added value to the international students, where you guys go into groups, right? Enjoy the trip, and also some learnings that can be brought to your back home, and as well as part of your development in terms of your career, worldview, and whatnot. Things like Korban, right? So we have annual Korban activity where we do this among the students, faculty members, management team, and whatnot. So it is something very interesting, where you bring the whole community in the same event, starting from the Korban activity until the cooking of the Korban meat, and we enjoy the food at the end of the day, or at the end of the activity, right? So these are some of the activity. I'm running out of time. I'm just going to very brief here. These are some of the financial support. Again, this is something that will be delved in detail, but on a general level, we have internal scholarships, which is merit-based, university funded, and then we have INCEIF bursary, and then we also have things like formulation for the locals, things like we have partnered with some of the banks that are offering student loans and whatnot. Yeah. So details of the scholarship, we do have a session, a special session on this, and then we do have our people that will be supporting if you do have questions pertaining to scholarships or INCEIF bursary. Now, we have a short video here, which you can have a look at how INCEIF University, the campus that we have. So let's take a look. It's a 1 minute plus video. Right. Okay. INCEIF University is the group itself. When I mentioned just now, we are part of a group which has the academic wing, but we also have the research wing, which is known as ISRA Institute. Now, ISRA Institute is involved with quite a number of impactful research projects. These are some of the projects that have been completed. Things like ESG, coming up with the social sustainability impact report, working with not only Malaysian entity but as well as international entity. For example, with the Foreign Commonwealth Office, there was a research done with them, and as well as coming up with what we call as a tayyib framework. Now we talk about halalan wa tayyib. So Malaysia is looking into not only looking at the halal aspect, but something which we want to go further, better, which is tayyib framework, which was done, the research was done by ISRA Institute, our institute arm. So being a student at INCEIF University, you'll be involved, directly or indirectly with some of our research work at ISRA Institute. I have to speed up a bit here because my time is a little bit on the overtime. And then last but not least, the arm that does the business part for INCEIF University is what we call as ISRA Consulting. They are known to be the CAT provider, the consulting, the advisory, and the training, the executive training. It has been done by ISRA Consulting. Again, being a student at INCEIF University, this is something that which you will also be involved. There'll be a lot of opportunities for you, not only looking into academic program, but you will also be involved in the student activities, immersing yourself with some research work, and also opportunities for you to be part of some of the consultancy and training program at ISRA Consulting. So these are some of the projects that have been done. As you can see, leading collaborations, leading work with local institution, organization, government, private, and whatnot. And you have people from Indonesia, CIMB Niaga. You have Bank of Algeria, where the development of the regulatory framework and supervisory framework for Islamic finance in Algeria. Now we're talking about creating the regulatory framework of a country, regulatory Islamic finance framework of a nation. This is where ISRA Consulting involved in itself in coming up with a framework for Algeria, for Maldives, and as well as some work that's been done in Brunei and several other countries. So again, coming to INCEIF, you will not only look into yourself getting the academic part, but as well you will also be part of research and consulting, executive training, and advisory opportunity that comes with when you come joining INCEIF University. Right. I think I'm in the last few slides. Would you like to share here our impact? We have a tagline from learners to leaders. As I mentioned earlier, those people who have graduated, they are the one who brings impact not only to their own community, but as well as at the industry, at their nation, and whatnot. For example, I'll give you one example. On the left side, Raja Amir Shah Raja Azwa. He's Malaysian. He's the current CEO of HSBC Amanah Malaysia Berhad. And we have Dr. Mufti Yusuf Sultan from Bangladesh. He's a founder and CEO of Adl Advisory and a member of Bangladesh Bank Sharia Advisory Board. A very influential person, completed his PhD at the INCEIF University, and look at the impact that he is driving in Bangladesh. We have Dr. Iram Sabah from Pakistan. She is an associate professor, program director at IBA Karachi, at the MS Islamic Banking and Finance, IBA Karachi. Again, another influential product of INCEIF. Last but not least, I want to share here is Dr. Saad Bakali. He's from Morocco. I always say that, Dr. Saad Bakali did not only get his education at INCEIF University, but he also got his wife, because his wife was a student at INCEIF University. So, eventually they got married, alhamdulillah, and they are living in UAE. So Dr. Saad Bakali, a very influential person. He's the head department at the Central Bank of UAE on the Islamic Finance department. The best thing about it is not only Dr. Saad Bakali within the team. There are 4-member team. If I'm not mistaken, 3 of the 4-member team an alumni of INCEIF University. These are the people or product or those people who are the ambassador, the alumni, the end product of INCEIF University, leaders, they are regulators, they are educators. So I believe this is another, I think one last slide. Basically, these are the awards or accreditation that we are been awarded, whether it's AACSB at international level, the Islamic Economy Award that was awarded by the Dubai government a few years back, and then you have the Malaysian standard, the Stara Maira and MQA, and as well as a global recognition for ISRA Institute, our research arm, as well as ISRA Consulting, with the awards coming from FN Awards and as well as the AAA Awards. So I think I'll stop here as a brief introduction, but to summarize, coming to INCEIF, you get three things. One, reputation. Number two is your career progression, and number three is your student experience. So with that, I'll pass over to Brother Izzuddin. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khair. And thank you very much, Encik Hasnul, for that very thorough and very detailed explanation about INCEIF, our history, our impact, our alumni, the student experience that you will get, and a brief run through about some of our programs available. I do have, before I pass on to our next speaker, I do have one short video that I would like to share with you, where this video is presenting the journey and the mission that INCEIF has embarked on from the start to be a global leader in Islamic finance education. This video will be highlighting how Islamic finance responds to how we respond to, or the industry of Islamic finance, responds to global financial challenges through ethics, innovation, and talent development. So without any further ado, just enjoy this video, just a short video giving a brief introduction of what I just mentioned. Let's see.
The global financial system is under strain. Crises, inequality, and imbalance raise urgent questions about the role and purpose of finance. At this critical moment, there is a call to reclaim finance, guided by values and responsibility.
I would make the contention that one of the globe or the world's major meta system, i.e. finance, is in trouble. There's many symptoms of that, from financial crisis, cost of living crisis, inequality crisis. They are taking more and more of the economic pie. Islam gives a grand narrative and a grand worldview, but it is up to researchers, scholars, to translate that, and up to practitioners to practice.
The world in the field of Islamic finance gravitated to INCEIF. We had faculty from all over the world, and the best coming to INCEIF. Is it because of the vision of what we wanted to achieve to supply global talent?
Beyond its degree programs, INCEIF's executive education and its certification programs have enriched many professionals in the finance field. And INCEIF has been a constant strategic partner to industry across Islamic finance. It worked closely with the Malaysian financial industry and supported other regulators and government agencies to design Islamic finance regulations and strengthen their capabilities.
At the moment, INCEIF is seen to be a very important institution, not only for the industry, but also for the regulators and for the policymakers. When we talk about Islamic finance, when we talk about sustainability, when we talk about developing policies, INCEIF must play a very important role, and it should play that role.
So that is what gives INCEIF its strength, a global outlook rooted in real-world connection. And as we look ahead, our mission is clear: to blend values with innovation and to turn knowledge into action. Because at INCEIF, we don't just teach finance, we shape a future that is fairer, more inclusive, and grounded in ethics. And that's our journey, that's our legacy.
INCEIF has grown into a global university of Islamic finance, producing leaders, thinkers, and innovators who have contributed to the strength and credibility of Malaysia's financial system. Malaysia's leadership in Islamic finance is widely recognized. With its strong governance framework, forward-thinking regulators, and institutions like INCEIF, our nation has become a global reference point where it is admired for its ability to combine Sharia integrity with modern innovation.
The global financial system.
There you go. So hope you have a brief insight about INCEIF's journey, and also get to hear from some of the top people in the industry, from the former governor to the current governor and our chairman as well. So alhamdulillah, INCEIF, I hope you are more excited to know about INCEIF and our programs, and to hopefully to enroll, and if you have enrolled, to enforce that feeling or that enthusiasm within you even more, inshallah. Now, before I one last note before I pass on to Dr. Iskandar, I had to disable the chat because there's a lot of comments within the chat, and we are losing track of their questions. I do appreciate all the questions and all the eagerness that you are showing, but please submit all your questions that you have in the Q&A window below, because this will help us track the questions a lot more. We have our program counselors and our people basically busy typing away about all your inquiries and questions that you have. We have Yusri, Azmi, Alina, who will be talking about, will be answering all your questions on scholarships. Jasmine and Shakirin will be answering all your questions about programs from our PhD to our masters. So speaking of our programs, now our next speaker, he is the CEO of ISRA Consulting, the consulting arm of INCEIF University, as what was shared with you with Inchasno before. And he will be talking about all the face-to-face programs or in-campus programs available at INCEIF. So mainly it's our PhD program, our master's program from Master of Science, Master of Islamic Finance Practice, MBA program, and also our professional certificate in MBA, and also as our micro certificate in MBA. So without any further ado, I'd like to pass the floor, or the virtual floor, on to Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Iskandar Shah Muhammad Rashid. Sir, over to you.
Okay, Azuddin, thank you so much. Can we start with who's sharing the slide, Azuddin?
Give me 1 minute. I'm having some trouble loading the slides.
Tak apa. While waiting for your slide, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to everyone, especially to INCEIF prospective students. Thank you so much. It's a great honor and privilege to be part of this, especially to share the academic program at INCEIF. We have two types of program. One is the face-to-face in person, and second is the online. So I probably cover the face-to-face first, and then the online version will be covered by my colleague, Dr. Zia. I think right now you probably have heard a lot about who we are and why we are doing this. I think the most important thing that you have to ask before you join INCEIF is that why you are doing this. I think that's the most important questions. So whatever that we are trying to offer has to basically match to your expectations. So this is a big decision for you all to make before joining INCEIF. First, you probably have to come over to Malaysia if you're international students. If you are a local student, if you're working, then you probably have to add to your existing commitment. And some of you might even have to leave your career to pursue your PhD or even masters. So it's very important that you stay informed with all the right facts and information, that once you join INCEIF, then you probably have a clear understanding about the journey that you're going to embark very soon. So I'm here to share with you some of the programs that we offer: PhD, MSc in Islamic Finance, Masters in Islamic Finance Practice, and last but not least, our MBA in Sustainable Business. So while waiting for the slides, probably you have watched the video. You probably see why we are doing this. I think it's not just about being another university offering Islamic finance education. But the existence of INCEIF for the last 20 years, we only have one purpose, to create a world where the financial system can provide a just and equitable opportunity to everyone. So I'm using the word opportunity. What does it mean? It means that, a financial system supposed to be supporting the real economy and not the vice versa. Okay. And today, if you look at the world, I mean, it's always on the opposite side. The economic system is actually supporting the financial world. And I don't have time to go through in detail why this is happening. But the outcome of this is, a world of imbalance of everything in terms of income, in terms of wealth, in terms of distributions, and so on and so forth. So we are trying to create a new path in terms of developing a financial system. And that's why we are doing Islamic finance. Although we are quite small today, maybe about 1% or 2%, and it's quite relative. But the argument is that if you're able to do this 1%, 2% properly, then eventually it will grow organically and exponentially. So we are still in the formation years. So compared to conventional finance who have existed for more than 400 years, we are probably have about track record of 40, max 50 years. So we got still so much things to do and so much things to learn and so much knowledge to advance before even we can get our so-called formula or our act right. So all this criticism that being put on or thrown against Islamic finance has its own merit. But what is more important is that together we come to INCEIF, or together we build a viable or system that can answer all this criticism and, more importantly, create a fairer and equitable financial system. So that's why we are doing this. So if you think that you want to be part of this journey, to learn something different, to learn something which is a combination of Sharia, finance, economics, and everything else, then our doors are really open for you, because you are the right people to embrace this journey. Okay. So as I said at the beginning, we have PhD, masters, two masters, Islamic finance and Islamic finance practice. And we also have an MBA. Obviously, the subset of it, like what Encik Asnul have said, would be the professional certificate and micro certifications. Okay. Can we move to the next slide, please? Okay. All right. So when you talk about PhD, we have two types of PhD. One is a coursework and dissertation, and the other one is PhD by research. What is the difference? The difference is that for PhD by research is for those who have extensive experience in finance or Islamic finance, someone who actually been with the system for many years, well versed with the knowledge in Islamic finance, and they can come in and apply for PhD by research. But for those who probably have maybe little understanding of Islamic finance, or may not have a good or extensive research background, then you have to apply for PhD by coursework and dissertation. Okay, industry PhD generally by invitation. These are probably for the senior practitioner, and they want to actually, like, okay, I've done my career in Islamic finance and now I want to do PhD. Then this is actually for those who are who's occupying a senior position in Islamic finance. So more or less, this might not applicable to you, but if you think that you have very substantive experience in Islamic finance, and then you can come and consult our program counselor whether you are eligible for industrial PhD or not. If not, more often, people will come either for PhD by research or PhD by coursework and dissertation. And generally, more people will go into coursework and dissertation. Next one, please. Okay, so these are a bit more detailed. The main difference between research and coursework is that for coursework, you have to take 14 courses, which is quite substantive. But the component of your thesis is much more smaller because you are doing coursework and dissertation. But in research, you may have to do only 4 courses, seminar in finance, seminar economics, seminar in Sharia and research methodology. However, you may have to write a much more extensive thesis and much more significant contribution to the literature as compared to PhD by coursework and dissertation. And industrial PhD, the format is slightly different. You have to only take 2 courses, and you will have 2 supervisors, one from academia and one from the industry. And the problem that being created has to come from industries, and the solution is also have to be, something impactful to the industries as well. It's a quite unique PhD compared to the first coursework and dissertation and PhD by research. Next one, please. Okay. So these are the courses that you have to take. Economics for Islamic finance, corporate finance, Islamic law, and all those things. Basically, you can read yourself. And then for elective, we are quite flexible. The reason why we are asking you to do 2 courses elective is purely to suit your specialization of your thesis or your dissertation. So if you want to write a dissertation in Takaful, then generally we ask you to take courses which is relevant to you, like wealth planning management and Takaful operation. But if you want to write a thesis, let's say in econometrics, then you probably have to do financial econometrics and advanced econometrics. So we make it quite flexible for you to take the elective because we want to suit your dissertation. Okay. And you might wonder that some of these courses are very similar to the MSc in Islamic finance. Yes, majority of these courses are offered together with master student, except seminar economics, seminar in finance, and seminar in Sharia, which are only offered for PhD students. Okay, and this is very common because we follow the American model. All right, so if you have done MSc in Islamic finance and then you want to pursue a PhD at INCEIF, then you can pursue PhD by research. Then you will exempted with all these courses except the remaining 3 courses, which is seminar economics, seminar in finance, and also seminar in Sharia. There's something that you have to do at the PhD level before you go into dissertation. So one of the beauty of our PhD program is that if you have done our MSc, probably like 1.5 years or 2 years, then when it comes to PhD by research, instead of spending time to 3 to 4 years, you can actually finish the research with 3 years. So meaning that MSc and PhD by research combined together, you can complete within 5 years. That's one of the advantage of studying at INCEIF compared to any other institutions. Next one, please. Okay. So this is, as I said, coursework for top subjects that you have to take for PhD by research. Okay. All right. So you just have to pass all these courses. There's no CGPA. Okay, there's no CGPA. You just have to pass, and then you can move to your thesis component. If you do industry PhD, your research methodology is compulsory for everyone, and you have to choose one of the 3 depending on your thesis area. If your thesis area is finance, then you write finance. If you do Sharia, then you have to take thesis subject in Sharia, so on. So you'll be guided by your supervisors to choose a subject for your industry PhD. Next one, please. Okay. All right. So before I move to master's program, the thing that you have to remember about PhD is that the only reason why you should PhD because you want to learn the methodology to contribute to the finance literature or Islamic finance literatures, because PhD is about the process of contributing to the knowledge. Okay, it's about advancing the knowledge. It's about pushing our understanding about Islamic finance. Some understanding can be simplification of the previous theory. Some understanding can be an application of existing theory. Some understanding can be pushing the existing theory. So there are many ways that you can actually push the frontier of knowledge. So PhD is about novelty. It's about new thing. It's about brand new ideas. Pushing, for example, for better and better understanding. Because a lot of people got wrong understanding about PhD. The reason why we are trying to contribute something so that it simplify our understanding about this complex world. It allow us to make decisions, right? For example, in conventional economics or conventional finance, there are a lot of theories, right? In economics, there's a quantity of supply, money supply theory, many inflation targeting, and so on and so forth. All these theories simplify our understanding and allow us to create a certain framework to navigate, I would probably say, a complex world. So, and in Islamic finance, we also need theory. We also need understanding. We also need formulation of ideas so that we know how to navigate in the complex world but is to doing with Islamic finance rather than doing conventional finance. Because if you don't have this idea with Islamic finance, what will happen is that we have to do conventional finance. And if you keep doing conventional finance, it's not easy for us to achieve the objective of Islamic finance. Okay, because either way we still have to live in this world. Either way we still have to push our understanding, continuing work living in this world with the current understanding. So but if you want to change the outcome of whatever we are doing right now, that means new ideas is required. So that's the main reason that you are doing PhD. And why we are separating the PhD, because we want to give everybody opportunity to do the PhD. If you don't have background, you can do PhD by coursework and dissertation. If you already have a substantive background, then you can do PhD by research. If you have significantly solid background, then you can come and do industry PhD. Okay. So now the so-called the bridging program to PhD is obviously our Masters of Science in Islamic Finance. But do everyone have to do PhD after Masters of Science in Islamic Finance? Not necessary. Okay, you can also stop at MSc, but MSc is much more rigor in terms of theory and also quantitative and also discussion on philosophy and a fundamental knowledge, which compared to the other masters, which is Masters of Islamic Finance Practice. So there is a differentiation between these two products. Okay, but if you want to do PhD, I would always recommend you to do MSc compared to do MIP, because if you do MIP, you may not get the pathway to do the PhD by research. You may have to do a PhD by coursework and dissertation, because there are not many courses under MIP which is similar to MSc. Next one, please. Yeah. Okay, so what are the structure? You have 9 courses, and then you have 3 courses. You can choose your specialization, and then you have to do a project paper, which is very critical, because without project paper, it's very difficult for you to apply even for your PhD program. And second, a project paper teach you in terms of analyzing, in terms of being critical, in terms of putting the sentence together, and so on and so forth. So project paper should be the outcome of your knowledge. Project paper should be a reflection of your ability to contribute something new to the world, your ideas, your thought process, your contribution, and so on and so forth. So that's what makes you different than the others. Okay. So some of you think, oh, nowadays project paper is easy, we can do chat GPT and everything. But that's not the purpose of doing a project paper. Project paper, we want to see whether you are analytical, whether you are critical, whether you are able to debate the issues, whether you are able to put things together, and so on and so forth. So the whole idea of learning MSc is that you should be able to understand the core fundamental of how the theory have shaped the world today. Okay, so a lot of people might think that this is not relevant. Okay, or theories are just theories. Academic doesn't work that way. Actually, it's not true. I mean, if you learn about Friedman theory, for example, money supply theory, quantitative of money, that pretty much shaped the problem of the government today. Too much borrowing because money is cheap, and who's paying the price, and the future generation, the taxpayers, and inflation is just one way of getting away from the burden of paying government debt, and quantitative easing. So all these things are actually related. So nothing that we are learning in the past is not relevant today. But whether you are able to understand that, and whether we should have a big government, whether we should have a small government, how much power we should give to individual, and how much state intervention which is required. All these things are actually shaping the policies of the future, and right policies are actually very critical to build any nations. And without having a solid knowledge, you are not able to really build a good policies. So that's why MSc is much more different as compared to MIP, because MIP, when you learn more of what you need to do in the industry to develop the product, to become a practitioner. But when you come to MSc, you are much more in depth. You learn the depth, the mechanism, the philosophy, the application of the theory that actually build a lot of policies that you see today, which is not easy, by the way. It sounds very easy, but it's actually very complicated, and having a full spectrum of understanding about Keynesian, Haldonian, Ghazali theory of money. I think will become very relevant in terms of shaping the future policy. Next one, please. Yeah. Okay. And these are the courses, and our approach is a bit different. There are some similarity with MIP. For example, you will do action-based learning, very similar. You also will take strategic planning and decision making, also similar to MIP. So some courses you might share with MIP, but most of these courses you're going to do with the PhD students. You've seen the courses, right? You're going to do with PhD students. So especially the PhD by coursework and dissertation and MSc in Islamic finance will sit together in the class. In most courses except the seminar in finance and everything, those are only for the PhD. So this is the clear differentiation between the MSc and also MIP. So when people ask you what is the difference, very simple. All right, for MSc, our objective is to produce solid researcher with a strong quantitative background, policy analysis, strong economics understanding, and strong basically grasp of theory and also the application of the theory in the real world. I think that's what really matters, and that's the reason why you should do MSc in Islamic finance. Next one, please. Okay, so these are the two specialization which is available. If you take 3 out of these 4 courses, then you can say, okay, I did MSc in Islamic finance, specialization in capital market, or specialization in banking. Specialization works in your career progressions, right? So when you apply for a job and you can say, okay, what is your area of expertise? You can say that, okay, I did MSc in Islamic finance, specialized in banking. Okay, but obviously, if you do MSc, your knowledge will be much more broader, much more, I would say, holistic. May not necessarily you learn a specific skill within the industry, but the application of it is that you can become a strong researcher, policymakers, even academician. Even in the banks right now, they require a lot of research personnel, a lot of analytical personnel, and so on and so forth. So that might be a career progress for those who did MSc in Islamic finance. Next one, please. Yeah. Okay, so coming to MIP, I think I already give you the glimpse. The basic idea of MIP is very simple. We want to give you a master's, but practice is practical in nature, which means that the knowledge that you learn in MIP is very useful to pursue your career in the field of Islamic finance. So if you really want to pursue your career in the domain of Islamic finance, for example, you want to become a banker or a practitioner in capital market or practitioner in takaful and everything, so the best program for you is actually MIP, okay, not MSc, okay, because you have to remember, you can also do MSc, but you have to remember that one is a bit more macro, which is MSc, and MIP is much more micro in nature, looking at the things at more granular level as compared to the MSc program. Next one, please. Okay, so the structure is a bit different. Previously, we have 9 courses for the MSc as a core, but here you have 10, and then you have 2 elective courses. The same thing, you still have to do project paper, but your project paper, the nature is much more different. The project paper nature is mainly to contribute to the advancement of Islamic finance practice. That means product development, Sharia requirement, governance, risk management framework for the industries. So all these things are actually more towards strengthening the quality of human capacity within the industries. So the impact that you will have is much more immediate as compared to MSc, because MSc is much more long lasting debate about more philosophical and more theoretical debate that taking place within the economic and also finance space. But MIP, people like to do MIP more often because for those who really want to pursue their career in Islamic finance practice, I think this is probably the right program for you. Okay, next one, please. Okay, and you have this other the area common core, which is we call it as a fundamental knowledge, and then we have a discipline core, which means that these are the courses which is specific to Islamic finance, and then you have to choose 2 elective out of the 6, so up to you. So if you like zakat, wakaf, and everything, you can do social finance. But if you are like more accounting, then you can do audit and compliance and risk management. And if you like insurance, you can do Islamic insurance and wealth planning and so on and so forth. So again, the choices are up to you. Depends on what area of specialization that you want to be in. Next one, please. Okay. So finally, before I take questions, is our latest program is what we call as MBA in Sustainable Business. You need to understand why we wanted to do this, although we are Islamic finance program. Because we wanted to have a program that can explore all the new contemporary knowledge in Islamic finance. All right. So a lot of things are coming in which is relevant to Islamic finance, like sustainability, AI, data analytics. So a lot of things are actually required in terms of developing somebody to have, I would say, not specific knowledge in Islamic finance. However, someone who can actually develop Islamic finance with the knowledge that support the growth of Islamic finance. Because Islamic finance cannot grow without for you to integrate with sustainability. Islamic finance cannot grow without looking at how AI can actually enhance Islamic finance. So for those who said, okay, I really want to contribute to Islamic finance, but I really do not want to be a specialist in Islamic finance, then you can say, all right, okay, instead of just going into a very specialized program, I might want to do something which is broader, but I will learn all the relevant techniques and the tools and the knowledge to basically support indirectly the growth of Islamic finance, directly or indirectly. Then this is the right program for you. If you look at the course details, for example, if you look at the program details, next slide, please. Okay. So very similar structure. You got 10 courses and then you got specialized courses 3. You still have to do project paper. You still have action-based learning. But here the project paper can be much more broader. You can do sustainability, you can do AI, you can do data analytics, you can do something on governance, something on leadership, and so on and so forth. Because all these topics, whether you like it or not, are the building block of any strong financial institutions. Islamic finance, I would probably say, is the concept, right? But in order for you to develop this concept, you need to have the supporting ecosystem. You need leadership, you need technology, you need, for example, integrate with sustainability. So all these elements will not be successful unless you put it in a much more holistic ecosystem. And this is the program for it. Next one, please. Yeah. Okay, as you can see, the courses still very broad courses: human resource, entrepreneurship, ethics, and so on and so forth. You don't see much on Islamic finance, but we feel that a student who do this, will have a solid understanding, because quite a number of these courses embed Islamic finance components as well. Like action-based learning, you will do project which is relevant to Islamic finance, sustainability management and investment. You will also learn a lot about, for example, things are related to Islamic entrepreneurship. So you're going to learn about Islamic entrepreneurship and so on and so forth. So although these courses are being designed in such a way to be a broad-based concept like a typical MBA, but when you talk about the assessment, the assignment, the application of it and everything, will be actually a reflective of what is required within the Islamic finance industry. Next one, please. Okay. So I think this has been covered by Brother Hasnul about the ABL. But in a nutshell, let me tell you, ABL is one of our successful projects or successful endeavor that we have taken place. We have initiated at INCEIF, where we actually solve a real problem, and you guys behave like a consultant. So this is where you will learn about design thinking. You're going to learn about how to frame the questions, how to deal with clients, and so on and so forth. So your knowledge of ABL is a complete, I would say, like a capstone project after learning your MSc or your MIP, your MBA. But all of you will come together in a different group while doing an ABL. So ABL and project paper are the two most important part of your master's thesis, which going to define who you are compared to the courses. Because the courses, everybody do courses, everybody do the same. Everyone take corporate finance. Some might get A, some might get A minus, some might get B plus. It doesn't matter. But what is your identity will very much defined by your project paper and your ABL. And this is where when you go for interview and people will ask you, okay, what is so special about you? Then you can talk about your project paper. What do you discover from your project paper? What do you discover from your ABL? What kind of impact that you made to the society? So education is about journey, and no one should stop learning, because learning is an endless process. It's just gonna go on, because even you die, you just still gonna pass your learning to someone else through your writing and through your project paper, through your research, publication, and so on and so forth. Because knowledge is a process of discovering the truth, discovering the greatness of our Creator, to discover, for example, all these amazing things that we are living within this ecosystem. Unfortunately, to discover all this beauty, you need to have a strategic mind or very structured mindset to learn all these things, because you are not able to appreciate economics without understanding the basic tool of economics. The same thing, you will not able to understand the beauty of financial world without having a structured knowledge of a financial world. So you have two options. You can do it from the conventional point of view, or you can also do it from Islamic point of view. Yes, there's a lot of overlapping between the two, but the philosophy, the building block, the guiding principles are different. For example, in economics, you always say, resources are scarce, people are rationalizing their desire, you know, but sometimes we can also say that maybe resources are not scarce, maybe resources are abundance, maybe so we may challenge some of the assumptions that we have in conventional from a different lens, and that lens can be Islamic finance, can be ethical finance, can be sustainable finance. But the reason why we want you to do Islamic finance, because not only this is something aligned with our religious value, but more importantly, we are telling the world that that Islam is not just about performing rituals. Islam is about giving the solutions to the world and to the mankind. And today, the Muslim world, out of 57 Muslim countries, OIC, I think barely 10 or 15 are doing quite well economically. Middle East, Qatar, UAE, maybe Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, Indonesia, Turkey. But some of other countries are really struggling with a lot of issues, Syria, Libya, Egypt, because of lack of institutions, lack of quality people, human capital, and so on and so forth. So we need to find a solution for it. So either you will come from conventional or you come from Islamic. So you have to decide which one that you want to use as a solution provider to all these problems. That's why we are actually doing ABL, so that you have understanding about how to solve all these problems. So next one, please. Yeah. Okay. Just to give you some projects. And then, as I said, these are all real company, by the way, all big companies and real companies. And these are the projects that our students have done with these people. Okay. Can we move on? Okay. So quickly, before I pass it back to the MC, we also have professional certificate. It's very simple to understand. Some people, they don't want to do masters because it's too many courses, but you just want to learn a small component of MBA, then you take 3 courses of our existing master's program, then you will get a professional certificate. Then if you do another 3, maybe you will get another professional certificate. Then after a while, you can combine all those things. And then, for example, do few more courses, and then you can actually get a master's degree. So professional certificate is just a stepping stone, or like a qualification for you to learn something, for you to be able to master the knowledge in the specific domain, without doing the master's degree. Okay. And at the same time, you may also apply for exemptions when you decided to do masters. So you got a professional certificate, and then you will get exemption for you to pursue the remaining courses at the master's level. Okay. All right. Next one. Okay, so these are some of the PC that we have, as you can see in MBA. And then we can move on and show you the PC in MIP. We also have a PC in MSc. So we have PC in almost everything. All right, so you can finish in 1 semester, or you decided that you don't want to take 3 courses. You just say, I want to learn 1 subject because I really like this professor. This professor is probably the best in this area. and I just want to learn with this professor, then you can just come to INCEIF and learn one subject. It's also possible. Okay, so we have micro certificate, we have professional certificate, we have masters, and then finally we have our PhD program. So let me just end my presentation by saying that, INCEIF is being created for Islamic finance. And in the last 20 years, we have experimented, we have tried, we have developed our human capacity, we have invested a lot of money and supported by Bank Negara and all the other players in terms of pushing Islamic finance to the next level. What is our success story? Apart from our graduates that we have produced all over the world, we also have Isra Consulting, the one that I'm working on right now, providing capacity building, training, technical assistance in more than 20 Muslim countries. And hopefully our dream right now is that if we can push at least to 30 over countries, or at least half of OIC countries, that Islamic finance can become the vehicle for the nation transformations, central bank transformation, security commission transformation, government organizational transformation. So this is our dream. So that all the institutions that were built, they are built in the Muslim world, is actually using Islamic finance principle or Islamic value principle, because we strongly believe in our heart that these principles are much more better, stronger compared to conventional finance. So if you think that this is the right program for you, right reason for you to join INCEIF, please come. We are more than happy to have you, to train you, to educate you, to make you part of INCEIF family, so that we can fight this thing together. Because the world need inspiration, the world need hope, and the world need something better. And I don't know about you guys, but I strongly believe that Islamic finance is one way to create hope, to create inspiration, and to create change to this chaotic and uncertain world that we are living today. So with that, Azuddin, thank you so much. Back to you, inshallah.
Thank you very much, Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Iskandar, for the very thorough explanation of all our face-to-face programs, from our PhD to our master's program and our professional certificate programs. Now, you might have heard, if you've been following our social media, and if you followed Jazno's presentation earlier at the beginning of our session today, we have a brand new program, or a PhD program, called PhD in Applied Muamalat. Now, running up to this open day today, we weren't exactly 100% planning on showcasing the full program, but because of the demand that we had from our attendees today, and I also saw a number of questions on PhD Muamalat, we have decided to bring on the director of the Center of Excellence in ISRA Institute, Professor Dr. Said Bohrawa, to give a brief explanation about the upcoming PhD program called PhD in Applied Muamalat. Without any further ado, Prof. Said, over to you.
Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalam ala Rasulullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa wala. Brother Isdin, I'm using different computer. Please, I shared with you the presentation in your WhatsApp. If you can share it, please. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, thank you very much. And I am happy to be given the opportunity to present the PhD in Applied Muamalat. So, this proposal, this program has been the objectives of ISRA Institute and INCEIF since more than 6 to 7 years in terms of preparation, because of the need to have this program. Because, as you know, ISRA, INCEIF, they are in the business of applied research, research that bridge the gap between theory and practice. And if you go through our iFikr portal, you will find that most our projects, they are applied in nature. That's why they have gained the acceptance, the implementation, the consideration of the the national, regional, and the international industry. So this is where we came to the conclusion after the call from the industry, the call from the regulators, that it's time to present this new program for applied muamalat that will respond to the industry need of having scholars, experts who integrates theory and practice. As you can see, the program is designed for scholars, researchers, and professionals who wants to deepen their expertise, contribute original research, and apply Sharia principles to real-world economy and financial challenges. And INCEIF is in our view is one of the best place to serve this purpose. Also, what we can offer in this program is that this program, because of the concept, or because of the core value of what is applied, it is grounded in Maqasid Sharia, because Maqasid Sharia speaks about how to apply in terms of context, in terms of act consequences, in terms of impact. Those are all the core part and portion of Maqasid Sharia. And as Sharia experts, you know that in Maqasid Sharia there is what is called Ma'alat al-Af'al, act consequences. There is what is called Sadd al-Dara'i', blocking the means for things that will impact negatively the environment, will impact negatively the society. Those are all core fundamentals of muamalat. And this is where we realize that, especially with the development of usul fiqh, that started from usul fiqh to Maqasid Sharia, with the turning point of the work of Al-Juwayni, who said that a Sharia scholar cannot just apply, how to say, robotically or apparently the Sharia. He has to understand what he called Kulliyat Sharia, which was developed later to be called Maqasid Sharia. So why this program? I think the urgent need for scholars and professionals who can bridge Sharia principles with contemporary financial reality. This is now real urgent need to have Sharia, because we may have great Sharia scholars who are expert in theory, but when you bring them to the practice, you will have a huge gap between theory and practice, and you will have a huge issue with those great Sharia scholars. I personally witnessed such issue in some of the Sharia committees, where a Sharia scholar who has a huge number of followers, or a huge how to say amount of ilm, but when it comes to applied part, to understanding the issue, the product, the structure, you will see the difference between the theory and the practice. This is where we came to what is called bridging the gap between Sharia principles and contemporary financial reality. And also the Doctor of Philosophy and Applied Muamalat equips students to address these challenges through research that is principle, practical, and policy relevant. And you can see the relevance of this applied muamalat is you can see the call for sustainability, the call for socially responsible financing, the call of all those calls that they are related to Maqasid Sharia. So this is where we realize that there is a need to have scholars, experts, not necessarily from the Sharia background, because we have agreed to accept people from Islamic finance who have some background in Sharia, who can also enroll in this program. Next, Izzuddin. And now we came up with this program based on our feasibility study and need. If you can see, first of all, Islamic finance has established a solid foundation with significant growth both domestically and globally, and by 26 it may reach 6.5 trillion. Also, the Islamic finance industry showed continued growth, and there was a study by Bank Negara, the Central Bank of Malaysia, that envisioned to have at least a talent pool of 56,000 employees to support the growth of Islamic finance industry, because there is a huge need of these talents. Even they have put this number of 56,000. And some of them, they are needed in highest position. Director of Sharia department, senior audit, Sharia audit control, even in the execution position. We have CEOs, and even in Malaysia, if you can Google in the internet, you have CEOs whom their background is Sharia. And because they have a combination of theory and practice, they were successful as CEOs. Of course, the Finance Accreditation Agency report reveals that 82% of countries face a talent shortage in Sharia, with 60% of Islamic finance professionals required further training and skills development. So this is, and also the finance sector blueprint 2226 prioritize enhancing the Sharia talent ecosystem in Malaysia. So there are two parts. One, the real need of the industry of Sharia talent in the highest position, masters and PhD. And for your information, we are also planning to have masters mixed mode, which means 4 subjects and thesis to be launched maybe end of 26 or beginning of 27. But this PhD by research, it was, first of all, it was a push by the industry and also pushed by the reality and pushed by demand of some students. They want to do PhD in issues that they are related to the industry. Next. Now you can see, this is what I mentioned, the blueprint, the conducive regulatory and Sharia environment, the Bank Negara blueprint, and you see expanding the pool of high quality Sharia talent and solidity succession pipeline for SEC. Even this program will present an opportunity to enhance the quality of research, of understanding, of even ijtihad for the future Sharia committee members, either within the Islamic banks, and there are many banks in Malaysia. That we have 17 banks in all Islamic countries. We have hundreds of banks. So we need those Sharia scholars who combine, who integrate theory and practice. And also we have in all those regulatory central banks, we have central Sharia authority that they need to understand, to deepen their knowledge in the applied muamalat. And this is the best program to offer this opportunity for those future scholars who got a huge, solid combination of theory and practice. And you can see, if you can see here, integrated Sharia talent database to facilitate talent sourcing and matching. And you can see strengthen collaboration with the industry association to establish and deepening Sharia expertise. This is where this program is really needed for the future Sharia scholars. Nurture Sharia scholar capable of advising on technical and complex Sharia issues, offer mentorship and opportunities for them to apply their deliberation skills and knowledge in sandbox setting, including networking with global scholars, and also international advocacy on Sharia matters. This is where we realize that this program is really needed, is really important for those Sharia scholars to reach the peak of their knowledge, applied knowledge in Sharia, especially in the Islamic finance. Next. So this is the program aim. The program aims to produce Sharia experts who demonstrate in-depth knowledge of applied Sharia and Islamic finance through independent research and innovation. So this program will offer the graduate with a PhD certificate an independent capability to deepen his research in applied muamalat, critically evaluate current practices by integrating Sharia principles and addressing emerging issues in the field. We will advise, because we have a number of high qualified experts who will advise the student to undertake a project that will expose him to the practice and will help him even to recommend some innovative approach in terms of product structuring or product offering. Conduct rigorous Sharia-based research that propose solutions and policy improvement for stakeholders. So this is the area of research that we are aiming. And within the research, we have experts. We will conduct we'll conduct workshops, webinars to enhance this area of expertise, disseminate advanced knowledge through publication, academic platform, and professional engagement, and also uphold leadership integrity and professional ethics in all aspects of research and scholarship. Next. So this is the pillar of the focus area of research. So the overarching is maqasid-based economic and financial system. And we have the area, we have the Islamic banking, when we focus on the areas of VBI, value-based intermediation, maqasid sharia, product development, innovation, Islamic banking and sustainable financing, digitalization and fintech in Islamic banking. We have the Islamic capital market, product structuring and innovation in Islamic capital market, sharia compliant private equity and venture capital, maqasid sharia in Islamic capital market, digitalization and fintech Islamic capital market. We have also the takaful. Those are the 4 areas. We have even the Islamic alternative finance, where we will accept PhD proposal in microfinance, blended finance, Islamic crowdfunding, and as we put at the solid ground, providing Sharia compliant financial solution grounded in maqasid Sharia that promotes justice, equitable wealth distribution, social welfare, and ethical practices. So those are the core focus on this PhD in applied Sharia, and this is meant for. I will present this one in the who are the eligible or whom we recommend to enroll in this program. Next. Yes. Here, why we propose this, first of all, is PhD in applied Sharia. Second is by research. Why we know that there are some highly experts and they have gone through courses in their bachelor, in their masters, and they need just to get exposed to deepen their understanding in the practical part of Sharia, especially those areas that I have mentioned. So that's why this is PhD in Sharia. The student will undertake just one subject, which is research methodology. And this research methodology is designed to prepare the students to write research in applied Sharia. There will be around 6 quantitative topics and 8 qualitative topics related to maqasid, ijtihad, ifta, methodology of ijtihad, all those areas. So, and this is not exam with marks. This is pass. The students will understand, will do some assignments, will do some presentation, and when he passes this research methodology, he will start preparing the proposal, and he will have a supervisor, expert supervising, assisting him to prepare the proposal. The advantage of this program is that when you do the research methodology within 2 months, and this research methodology is a combination. You can attend 70% physical and 30. We have this is the initial proposal, 70-30 proposal, which means the student who enroll in this program, if he is overseas, if he is based in Middle East or North Africa or Europe, he does not need to come here more than 3 to 4 months, especially those who are busy with their business or they cannot travel for a long time. So, and he will start preparing the research. There may be an audit courses if he wants to take audit courses. Some of them, they are online. So he needs just to prepare a proposal and write a thesis between 60,000 and 100,000 words. And the writing, the language is English, Bahasa Mali, and Arabic, which means if you want to write in Arabic, alhamdulillah, at INCEIF, we have qualified professors, qualified lecturers who can supervise in Arabic, and they have the experience of 15-20 years supervising in Arabic language. We have qualified experts who can supervise in English, and we have, of course, we the qualified expert in Bahasa Mali, they are not as many as in English and Arabic, but we can even cover for those who wants to write even in Mali. So online virtual lectures and seminars, online supervision and consultation, digital research engagement and training. So this is where it's going to be a flexible program. Flexible program where the students can finish it in 2 years. If he wants to complete his PhD, he can finish it in 2 years. This is the entry requirement, a master degree in Sharia or Islamic finance from a recognized institution of higher education, bachelor degree holders in Sharia or Islamic fintech with CGPA of 3.7. If his CGPA is high, he can enroll directly from bachelor to PhD, of course, or he needs to apply to the PhD open approval by INCEIF organization. So this is of course, there is also admission via Apple accreditation of prior experiential learning, which means minimum of 5 years of age, and also recognized bachelor degree, and also application with 2.0 and 2.9. So I will not go into details because of time constraint, but you can go through this brochure in our website. In short, just to summarize, this is a timely PhD program in applied muamalat, serving the industry, because the industry, the Islamic finance industry, with its growth, needs highly qualified, specialized Sharia scholars and Sharia experts, not necessarily from the Sharia fraternity, Sharia experts who can integrate both theory and practice. And this program offers the best, it's the best platform with the highly qualified professionals to facilitate these objectives that serves the Islamic finance globally, inshallah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. Said. Alhamdulillah, thank you for your presentation and introduction about PhD and applied muamalat. Before I let you go, I do have one question from one of our attendees, very specific to the program. So the person asked, does INCEIF support PhD research on Islamic financial literacy and behavioral change, especially work that combines Islamic finance with financial inclusion and real-world impact? Would this fit under the PhD in applied muamalat? Sheikh?
Yes. Simple answer, of course, yes.
Yes. Okay. So thank you very much, Prof, for that very short and sweet presentation and question and answer. So any further information for our viewers today, if you want any further information, please do check the chat box. We have shared the brochure with you, with our viewers today. With that, thank you very much, Prof. Said.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Now, walaikum salam. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have covered all the programs that are going to be done or available on campus in person at INCEIF University, from the new PhD to existing PhD, Masters, and Professional Cert and Micro Cert. Now, to get to know a bit more about our online programs available here at INCEIF University, who better to brief us about our online programs than the head of the program for Executive Masters in Islamic Finance, which is a fully online master's program. If you were from the beginning, which is a fully 100% online master's program, Associate Professor Dr. Ziad Mohammed. So with that, over to you, sir.
جزاكم الله خير والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Thank you very much, everyone, and Izzuddin for introducing me online programs. Of course, you've heard so much about the face-to-face programs, but I'm hoping that you'll also consider some of the online programs as well. So as we cover the online offerings at INCEIF, we're going to focus on these three in particular: Executive Masters in Islamic Finance, the Professional Certificate, and the Micro Certification. Now, we'll begin from the top, and that is a master's program that we designed several years ago with the objective of focusing on the busy professionals and as well as the new graduates, but they may have a challenge in coming into Malaysia to actually attend our programs face-to-face, or you may be in Malaysia, but you may have a challenge still coming into Kuala Lumpur and you may be working during the day. But just a quick note that, all the courses and subjects that you've just heard about, it's the PhD in Muamalat, Applied Muamalat, the MBA program, the MSc, the MIFP. All of our face-to-face programs have lectures in the evening. So in case you're wondering, if you need to, quit your job or then come in and then study, there's really no need to do that. You can actually continue in our programs with night classes because that's our normal time. Bearing in mind, of course, if you're living in KL, it will be much easier. The Executive Masters in Islamic Finance is online, completely online. It's an ODL program, or an open distance learning program. The idea here is to cover what you've just learnt about the MIFP in an online format. The full time you can complete in 1.5 years or a maximum of 2 years. And the part-time program you can complete over 3 years or a maximum of 6 years. The idea of the Executive Masters is that we have 9 courses. These are the core courses. And then you can choose from the electives, which are 3 courses. Finally, it's the capstone, and the capstone is our project paper, and that is 6 credit hours. 6 credit hours translating to around 15,000 words or so in a final project paper that is aligned to something that you'd like to pursue. And it's basically a consolidation of what you've studied, and then you can do something that is specific to practice. The program itself has several courses that are in line with the MIFP. The common courses are data analytics for business, ethics and professionalism, economics for Islamic finance, and then the Sharia aspects of business and finance. These courses, in particular, the Sharia aspects of business and finance, is basically covering courses that you would need to be conversational in, you'd need to understand fairly at an intermediate level, not yet at an advanced level, but they all give you a strong overview of the subject at hand. So Sharia aspects, for example, will cover the sources of Islamic law. It will cover its application in Islamic finance. It covers a bit of Sharia governance, a bit of audit, and a bit of hisbah, or accountability, and regulatory accountability in particular. So it's a very comprehensive course, which later we'll talk about micro certifications, and you can in fact think about doing this course on its own if you want to have the first kind of step into Islamic finance. The discipline core courses, these are the courses that are most specialized but still compulsory. That's on the business strategy and policy side. This is a course that's focused on case studies. In fact, there's no exam in this course. So, for those that get a bit of anxiety when you're looking at and preparing for the final exams, this is one of our courses that has no exam. Yeah, all you have to do is prepare your case study and your business profile and submit that. And if you're following through the course and completing all your assessments, you're pretty much good to go. It's a very hands-on course. The other courses like Islamic capital markets, banking practices, and others are focused on specific sectors and specific disciplines. Islamic banking covering all the products and services offered, not just in Malaysia, but outside as well, and some of the challenges in implementing them. Sharia rules and issues is now the more of the advanced course in understanding Sharia application at Islamic finance institutions. It talks about what the schools of jurisprudence say about issues. It talks about some of the criticisms, how these criticisms are dealt with through Sharia resolutions. It looks at international resolutions like IOFI, including the IILM, IFSB, IIFM, all these acronyms you will learn about in the courses, so no need to worry about that. But you will go in depth into the rules derived from the Quran and Sunnah for how the Islamic law applies in Islamic banking and finance. The accounting for Islamic finance and the capital market courses both look at these two subjects in detail. So covering sukuk, Sharia screening for equities, a bit of Islamic wealth management, how the products are actually accounted for on the financial statements and financial reporting for Islamic financial institutions. And then you've got a choice. You may come from the asset management industry. You'd want to choose wealth planning, perhaps an Islamic insurance or takaful. You may come from the Sharia advisory industry or sector, and you'd focus on audit and compliance, and then commercial law and legal documentation. And then risk management is a very pivotal course because it covers, how you mitigate risk, how you calculate risk, looking at, financial statements and actually calculating the ratios. Yeah, you will be doing some of the calculations. And then perhaps one of our more, practical courses, the social finance course, really dealing with the challenges we're facing today. So we've got more than 60 conflicts internationally. We've got people struggling, suffering all the way from droughts and conflict in Sudan and East Africa to floods currently in Indonesia, Malaysia, and other places in the Philippines, facing so many natural disasters and typhoons. So with all of that, how do we mobilize finance? How do we mobilize zakat and waqf and sadaqah? And how do we turn these into hybrid instruments like cash waqf linked sukuk? And how do we design our own instruments? So it's an extremely interesting course. I'm saying this obviously because I'm marketing my own course here. I do teach the course and I'm very passionate about the course. This is a course that really goes to the core of Islamic finance and assists and empowers people. So building, a poverty graduation strategy for your NGO or for your institution, for your community, all of that is covered in this course. At the capstone, as we said, you can now bring all of that knowledge together and develop it into a project paper. So that's our EMIF. Now, what we've done with our EMIF is we've realized that many students have demanded or requested, smaller batches or chunks of our master's program at the same level, at the master's level, but they'd like for it to be specializing just in banking or wealth or social finance. And they'd like to complete this over just one semester, and they'd like to do it online. So we offer a PCIF, the Professional Certificate in Islamic Finance. It's basically it's taken from our EMIF. And the idea here is that just like Prof. Iskandar explained earlier on the PCIF for MBA, where you can ladder it, you can gain the credits, and then finally apply for your full master's. In the same way, you can do it here. You can apply for your EMIF, which is the executive master's, by taking the professional certificates and then gathering all your credits. So this is a full credit transfer program to our master's degree. There are 3 core courses in each specialization. And I'll cover the specializations just now. You can complete it in 1 year, so you don't have to complete it in 1 semester. But if you want to gather all your credits, then there is a time limit. You have to complete it within a certain amount of years. So the program structure, you can select any specialization. You can choose a banking or a Sharia-based specialization, and you can see we've bundled these courses together. So it makes it very easy. You have the Sharia aspects being the core course for the majority of them, except for the social finance. In social finance, we take it a step further, and we actually go in with Sharia rules and issues. So that's more of an advanced course. It's always advisable to do something Sharia related if you have not done anything Sharia related before you do a PCIF in social finance. And for that, we have a solution. We have something called a micra course, not a micro course. And a micra course is a platform, a program that we offer through a specific platform today. Right now, we offer it through Future Learn. So if you just want to get get a feel for Islamic finance, you can go on to Future Learn and you can type in INCEIF, and you will find all the courses that we offer. And one of those courses is the Fundamentals in Islamic Finance course. It's an Islamic jurisprudence course that you can complete just over a week or 2 weeks. It's a very short course, and that will make you conversational in Islamic law. And then from there, you can jump into any of these courses, or especially our Sharia rules course. So these specializations would depend from which sector you coming in from. If you coming in from the takaful market, you can take the takaful and wealth management specialization. And if you're looking at more Sharia advisory and Sharia audit, well, then you can look at the Sharia audit and compliance short course or PCIF. And here we cover 3 specific aspects. So it's a very versatile program. It covers, generally what's most demanded in the various sectors, but it doesn't stop there. So whilst you can take these as bundle courses, you can also decide to take a micro certification. So let's say you haven't studied for a long time, or you're not sure if this is for you. You want to see if INCEIF University is the right university for you. You can choose a single course. Yes, just one course. Bear in mind, all our courses are at the master's level. So you can choose a course in social finance if that's all you're interested in, or even data analytics for business, where you will cover a bit of AI and machine learning as well. Or if you've already done a degree in Sharia and you want to understand how it's applied in Islamic finance, well, then you could do a course like Sharia rules and issues or Islamic banking practices. And now you will get a full feel for how Islamic finance applies, in practice. So this is an excellent opportunity for you if you're not yet ready for the IMIF or the PCIF, and you're thinking of just, dipping your toes in the water, so to speak. The entry requirements are quite simple. You need to have English language proficiency, of course. Our courses are all taught in English. You need to have some quantitative background, basic quantitative background. And our intakes are in January, June, and September. So it's a rolling intake. In other words, whenever you apply, you then would be put forward to the closest semester of when it starts, and then when the course is offered. Some courses may only be offered in certain semesters. You'd have to apply to check when it's offered, because we do change that. So that is actually all I have to share for now. If you do have any questions, please feel free and we'll try to cover them. So thank you very much, and back to Izzuddin.
Thank you very much, Prof. Ziad, for sharing with us our online programs available here at INCEIF University. So I'm sure a lot of you have some questions. Some have already sent the questions, and our program counselors have been diligently answering all of them. I do see a number of questions here. At least one particular question that's more suited for a webinar on Islamic finance, but not on for INCEIF Open Day. So I do apologize. So if possible, ladies and gentlemen, let's try to keep to the topic of the day, which is the programs offered at INCEIF, and as well as the student experience and scholarships available. Speaking of which, to brief all of us about the scholarships available at INCEIF, as well as some what we call external scholarships or options for scholarships, I would like to invite onto the floor, onto the screen, Miss Puan, Puan Siti Fariza Muhammad Dahlan. She is the director of the Registrar and Student Affairs Department here at INCEIF University, to give a brief explanation or go through the scholarships and financial assistance available here at INCEIF. So without any further ado, Puan Fariza, over to you.
Thank you, Brother Izzuddin. Okay. Assalamualaikum everyone, and good day and or good evening wherever you are. So I'm Fariza. I'm under the Registrar of Youth Student Experience and Alumni Relations. So I'm here now to actually share with you about scholarship and financial assistance for you to pursue your studies at INCEIF. So basically what I'm going to share is a little bit of overview of all the scholarships and financial assistance available internally in INCEIF, as well as external sources. And then we delve down a bit, share a little bit more about INCEIF scholarships and external scholarships, and then bursary and financial assistance. So in terms of what is available for you, basically this is all it. Yeah, one is about the Chancellor Scholarship from the right side of the slide. We have Chancellor Scholarship for PhD students, and then we've got the President Scholarship for Master students face-to-face program. And then we've got the INCEIF Student Leadership Scholarship, and this is for any main program. This is basically targeting to the B40 students with a low household income. And then we've got some external scholarships. This is just to name a few. The common one that our students always got is the Maybank Islamic Postgraduate Sponsorship Program, the GRAB by Mara, and Malaysia International Scholarship (MIS) that is for international. Yang di-Pertuan Agong Scholarship under JPA. Then there's others that to name a few only today. Yeah, and we've got also some financial assistance available by INCEIF, that is in terms of INCEIF bursary, student welfare fund, and I will also share a little bit about the cash eye muamalat education loan, and then the Yayasan Peneraju coverage. And last but not least, we've got also some partnership with our industry. So this is under Strategic Talent Development for Industry Excellence Scholarship or INCEIF Professional Pathway Scholarship, but this will not be covered today. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at the scholarships under INCEIF. So for Chancellor Scholarship, the program is for PhD program, yeah, so Islamic Finance by coursework and dissertation or by research, and it's applicable for January and September semester because we do not take in any students for PhD in June semester. And what does it cover? It covers tuition fee and student services fee. And you will, if you are awarded, you'll be engaged as graduate assistants and up to 20 hours a week. And you'll be receiving monthly stipend of 2,500 ringgit up to 36 months. And for international students, if you receive this scholarships award, you will also cover your visa processing fee, including medical checkup and takaful coverage. In terms of criteria, is applicable for local and international. But for this upcoming January 26 semester, it will only open for local students. Yeah, okay, we have closed the admissions for international. A minimum of CGPA of 3.5 is required in master's degree or equivalent, and you should have been offered an admission to INCEIF program. For President Scholarship, this is for our master's program face-to-face, which is MBA, MSc Islamic Finance, and MIFP. And this is applicable throughout all the 3 semesters in a year. And what does it cover? It covers tuition fee and student services fee. And for international students, just like Chancellor Scholarship, it will also cover your visa processing fee. And this is actually applicable for both local and international, but I'm afraid for the January 26 semester, it will only open for local students. And in terms of CGPA, it requires a minimum of 3.0 in your bachelor's degree or equivalent, and you should have been offered an admission to master's program also as a full-time mode of study. For lead scholarship, this is actually from our sponsors. So it covers MBA, MSc, Islamic Finance, MIFP, and as well as IMIF, which is the online program. And it covers local as well as international. International is only for Thailand, Philippines, Cambodia, and Vietnam. Yeah, and it applicable for throughout all the 3 semesters. For tuition fee, in terms of coverage, it covers tuition fee, student services fee, and other academic resources where applicable as agreed by our sponsors. And in terms of criteria, as I mentioned earlier, I mean, for international students, I'm afraid it's only applicable for IMIF, yeah, IMIF because it's online. So we still open for application for this scholarship for international students, but it's only for Thailand, Philippines, Cambodia, and Vietnam. And and it requires that your monthly household income should be less than 5,249 ringgit. This is actually equivalent to the B40 category in Malaysia. And you should also be offered admission. And last but not least, in terms of INCEIF scholarship is Islamic Finance. Islamic Finance Islam Scholarship. This one is for our inaugural, is our new program, PhD in Applied Muamalat by Research, as shared by Prof. Said earlier. So this one is based on rolling intake. So it doesn't matter which semester, but for international students, for rolling intake, it will actually requires you at least 3 months before commencement of the semester. And it will cover tuition fee and student services fee for up to 4 years. This one, I'm afraid this one is actually an inaugural scholarship for local only. We'll see how it goes for subsequent semester, for subsequent year. And you must be accepted into PhD in Applied Muamalat with a minimum CGPA 3.3 in your previous master's program. And you should also have strong professional achievements in Islamic finance or related fields. Okay. All right, so in terms of application, how are you going to go about that? When you submit your program application, there will be a module under the same application form called financial particulars. You go under funding method and then you select that you will require scholarship. So once you are offered admissions, you will then be screened for the scholarship criteria that you should meet. And those who met the criteria will then be scheduled for interview session, and recommendation from interview panel will then be tabled in our committee for approval. And then we only inform you on the results. Yeah. For lead scholarship, you will need to submit your program application and separately the lead application form retrieved from the INCEIF website scholarship and financial aid page. Okay, so students who are offered admissions will then be screened for the lead scholarship criteria, and then further on to be approved by our committee, and then we inform you on the results. Okay. So let's look at the external scholarships available. This is just to name a few, as I mentioned just now. The first popular one is the Maybank Islamic Postgraduate Sponsorship. Many of our students actually, alhamdulillah, able to get awarded by this scholarship. And this is applicable for all programs, and is normally they will open application period from June to July. So watch out for during that space. You can go to the website and always watch out for the application opening period. The coverage is tuition fee. They will cover your tuition fee as well as they will give you a monthly stipend up of 2,000 ringgit. Okay, and this is applicable for both local and international. And you must not be over 35 years of age for the master's program and 40 years of age for doctorate program at the point of commencement. And that's a CGPA. In terms of CGPA, for masters, it must be minimum 3.5, and for PhD, minimum CGPA of 3.5 as well. So you can visit the Maybank website, called Maybank Foundation website, for you to learn a bit more in terms of the criteria and the process of application. The next one I want to share is about the Graduate Excellence Program by MARA. The program that are currently covered by MARA is MSc in Islamic Finance, and usually they open application in June or October, but it depends on availability of fund. Okay, so what do they cover? Tuition fee, and it's actually in terms of loan, but it will be a convertible loan. So it will be converted into scholarships if you actually attain a very high performance in your studies. This is applicable only for local, and you can check the criteria in the GRAB website, MARA website, for further details. Okay. The next one is Malaysia International Scholarships by MOHI. This is applicable for all programs, and the application period is usually in June or July. It will cover tuition fee and monthly living allowance of 1,500 ringgit per month. And this is only for international. We've got also a few of our students who obtain the MIS scholarships. And you may refer to the list of eligible countries and other criteria from the guidelines provided in the MIS website, so that you can, and in terms of criteria, because sometimes criteria change, yeah? So you have to always look at their external scholarships provider website. The next one is the Young di Pertuan Agong Scholarships. This one is under JPA, applicable for all programs, and usually they open application in April or May. So it covers tuition fee, monthly living allowance, as determined by GPA in the offer letter, and some research-related expenses. This one will be applicable for locals only. And important thing here is you are required to work in Malaysia upon completion of your studies. Okay, and that's also mentioned here into criteria. You must attain actually CGPA of 3.75 or first class in your previous degree. Okay. And last but not least is the Khazanah Watan Scholarship. So this one is applicable for all programs as well, and they always open application in March. Okay, so watch out for this. This is the nearest, and it will cover your tuition fee, and this is only applicable for local. And you must not be over 40 years of age at that point of enrollment. And in terms of CGPA, you must attain at least minimum CGPA of 3.5 in your bachelor's or master's degree before. Okay, more information can be retrieved from the Khazanah website. Okay. All right, so let's move on to the bursary and financial assistance. INCEIF bursary, the first thing here is INCEIF bursary. So basically we provide, this is like a tuition fee waiver. So this is applicable for all programs, and that is for all the 3 semesters that we offer in a year. What does it cover? It actually cover for 2 course fees in the first semester, provided that you have registered for 3 minimum courses. And from the second semester onwards, the bursary will cover 1 course fee per semester up to 8 courses. So basically, in total, this bursary, if you awarded, will cover you up to 8 courses. Okay, but the first semester you should take 2 courses so that you can cover you 2 course fees in the first sem. Normally, students will only take about 3, so you will only have to pay 1 additional course fee. Yeah. And for PhD by research, students shall receive 30% waiver each semester up to 8 semesters, because for PhD by research, you will be paying by semester fee, not course fee. Okay, so and in terms of criteria, it's a minimum of CGPA of 3.0 in bachelor or master degree, and you should have been offered an admission to full-time or part-time. And for January 26, is applicable for face-to-face programs for only local students. For online students, still applicable for IMIF, but the deadline is nearing, yeah. So you better, if you have not submitted application, then you should, okay. Because for master's program, it's actually cover around maybe about 50% of your course fees in total, okay? So that's a lot, yeah? For PhD, it's about 30% of the whole course fees. So that's a lot, that tuition fee waiver that you get. The second financial assistance I wish to share is about Student Welfare Fund. So this is actually a one-time payment to support eligible students' academic journey in case you suddenly fall short of in terms of your financial capacity for whatever reason, right? So you may actually apply, let's say but this one is not for tuition fee. This is more towards your subsistence, like accommodation, or suddenly you got hospitalized, but somehow you are not able to pay the extras because you have financial challenges, these kind of things, all right? So you may apply. This is actually open every month. And it will be closed always on the 15th of the month. Yeah, so this one, once you are a student, you will get the link to this Student Welfare Fund to apply. Okay. For the next one I wish to share is the Yayasan Peneraju. Yayasan Peneraju also offered some financial assistance. This is only applicable for PC, professional certificate, that is for banking specialization and Sharia audit and compliance specialization. So this one is applicable throughout all the 3 semesters. And what do they cover? They cover financing up to 15,000 ringgit with 0% repayment. And the type of funding is either they do an advance payment for you, so they transfer the fund to you to pay to the university, or you pay first and then you get the reimbursement from Yayasan Peneraju later. Okay, so this is open to locals, and you must have been offered admission. And of course, acceptance is subject to Yayasan Peneraju's evaluation. More details is provided in the Yayasan Peneraju website. Yeah. And last but not least is the Cash Eye Muamalat. We've got a partnership with Cash Eye Muamalat to offer an attractive loan for our students if you are in need of financial assistance in terms of loan. So it is applicable for all programs and for all the semesters. And what it covers, it can actually finance you up to 100,000 ringgit and up to 10-year tenure. So payment option of monthly profit servicing for the first 3 years, and eligible Malaysian students aged 18 above with a minimum total income of 3,000 ringgit, you can already apply. So more information, you can actually go to Bank Muamalat and and then look out for the Cash Eye Muamalat for a bit more on the criteria and application process. Okay, so for bursary, how do you actually apply? First, of course, you need to submit your program application, and then in that same application form, you find that financial particular module, and you go to funding methods, and you select financial aid. All right. So students, and you don't have to fill in any more details because you are submitting your application. So all of the other details are captured. So as soon as you got admission, our our scholarships team will financial assistance team will be alerted, and we will then screen you for the bursary criteria. And if you are successful, got approval from the scholarship committee, and we will then inform you of the results. Okay. Okay, last but not least is about the bursary, scholarships and bursary application deadlines. Okay. So we are now nearing to the January 26 semester. So based on all that I've shared earlier, for chancellors, for January 26 semester, I'm afraid for international students is too close already. So we cannot accept your application anymore because it requires about maybe 3 months to settle with immigration, to get your student pass and so on. Yeah. So but it's still open for local. For chancellor scholarship is 21st December. And for President Scholarship, we open up to 31st December. For Chancellors, because we have to move out a bit a date because there will be 2 interviews, yeah? So it's not just one. But President Scholarship, there will be 1 interview. And for Lead Scholarship, I'm afraid it's closed for local. But for international, it's still open up to 21 December for Thailand, Philippines, Cambodia, and Vietnam candidates. Okay? For INCEIF bursary, we still open for local until end of this year, 31st December. For international, we still open for EMIF students up to 21st December. Okay. If you are not able to actually meet the deadline for this round in January, fret not. You still have the other semesters that you can actually plan to. We have the June 26 semester and September. So hereby, I just share with you in terms of the deadline. You can get more information in our website, yeah, in our INCEIF University website under scholarship and financial assistance pages. Okay. All right. In terms of liaison officer for this scholarship and financial assistance is Miss Nur Alina. So, and you can also drop us an email at financial.assistance@inceif.edu.my. If you have any further questions at the end of this session, I think Brother Aizudin will open up for Q&A session. So Miss Nur Alina is also standing by to answer any of your inquiries. Yeah. Thank you so much. Back to you, Brother Aizudin.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Puan Fariza, for that very informative session on and presentation on the scholarships and financial aids available here at INCEIF University. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our session today, but not quite yet, however, because we are now, as Puan Fariza just mentioned, we will now open the floor for Q&A, but actually, we've been open for Q&A. We've had over 90 questions already. Let's go for more than 100, guys. It is almost 7 o'clock and my children are begging me for attention. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, please do keep the questions coming in. We will keep the floor open. We will keep the webinar open for questions that you might ask, that you have on the programs, on let's say accommodation or the ASB residences that we have. I saw a question on the rates, excuse me, sorry about that. On the rates of the residences, we also have, if you have any questions on the programs, on the master's, PhD programs, on the online programs, please do ask away, put it in the Q&A window below, and we have our program counselors already on standby to answer all your questions. If you have any questions on the scholarships that Puan Fariza have just went through just now, please do submit them as well. She is on standby, as well as Arlena to standby and answer away all your questions regarding the scholarships and financial aids. Now, before I forget, a couple of reminders, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who might have missed, for our face-to-face programs, our classes are usually from 6:30 to 9 p.m. In Malaysia. So when you come to campus, it's usually after the working hours, because we are a postgraduate university. So our classes are from 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. Some classes are available, are done on Saturday mornings as well, but this depending on the subject or the lecturer and so on and so forth. As mentioned by Dr. Ziad just now, some programs are offered in some semesters, some unfortunately are not offered in the semesters. I saw somebody ask that question. Generally speaking, most of the subjects are offered in the long semesters, meaning January and September. But the subjects offered in the short semester or in June are quite limited. All right. So, but the full list of subjects offered, you can drop us an email and to get the full list. So you can just send at inquiries@incef.edu.my. Our program counselors will provide you with the info. Now, regarding of all the information that you saw today, in terms of the presentation slides, the slides on the face-to-face program, the online programs, and the scholarships, we will send it all via email to everyone, to all the attendees today, within this week, inshallah. We will also post this video on our social media to share with you guys as well, and hopefully everything by this week, inshallah. Now, let's one last thing for the application deadlines. Yes, the most important deadlines that you need to take note for all programs. For Malaysians, all programs, the deadline is 17th of January 2026. So you just have over 1 month to apply, to complete your application, enter your application, and hopefully enroll for the January semester. Classes do start on, I think the earliest is, I believe, on the 19th, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, program counselors. But the earliest classes will start around 19th, if I'm not mistaken. So the deadline for all programs for locals, for Malaysians, will be 17th of January. All right. Now, for the international students that we have watching today, just before the session, I had a chance to see some of your where you are coming from, mashallah, from all over the world, from Indonesia to Nigeria, from Pakistan, Bangladesh, Morocco, Egypt, a few people from UK, a few from Canada. MashaAllah, thank you very much for joining, especially those who are in Canada or the US, from that side of the world, where it's probably 6 a.m. today, right now. So thank you very much for joining. For our international students, for the IMIF, the Executive Masters in Islamic Finance, meaning the full master's program, online program, the deadline is 21st of December, which is this Sunday. Right, Sunday. So please do submit your applications within in time for us to process the necessary information, and the applications will close this Sunday on the 21st of December. And for the professional cert or the micro certification for online program, which is 100% online, the certificate programs, that one, the deadline is on the 17th of January. All right, so I hope I have covered everything. Guys, can I have it in the chat? I believe yes. No, yes, no. Program counselors, if you don't mind, just put in the chat window the deadlines I just mentioned. And for if you want to catch up a bit on some of the programs that are offered, our program counselors also shared the brochures of the programs from MIFP, MSc, PhD, and so on. So you just have to scroll up a bit in the chat window. You'll find the brochures there. If not, just send an email to us. We'll gladly provide. So without any further information that I have to give, I will leave our session here open for the next 10 minutes. All right. Please do submit your questions in the Q&A. Our program counselors are available to answer your questions. In the meantime, let's watch a few videos about INCEIF. Give me a few seconds to upload. Yes, so ladies and gentlemen, while I am trying to upload the videos, trying to play the videos, thank you very much for joining. And if you are indeed enrolled, applied, enrolled, and we'll be seeing you next on campus in the online programs or the face-to-face programs. Let me be the first to say see you next year, inshallah. So with that, thank you very much for joining our open day today. Again, the session is open for any questions that you might want to ask. So please do submit them, and we have our program counselors on standby. Jazakallah khair. I end my duty today as MC with Wabillahi Tawfiq wal Hidayah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, thank you, Brother Izzuddin.
Thank you very much, Prof. Saeed.
Assalamu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khair.
Yeah, Dr. Ziad, thank you very much for joining.
Was born. Bank Negara Malaysia founded INCEIF, the Global University of Islamic Finance. INCEIF mission is to nurture world-class talent and elevate Malaysia as a leader in ethical finance. INCEIF began with a singular vision, not just to educate, but to transform the conscience of global finance. It was never only about producing graduates, but leaders, thinkers, and innovators.
When we first set it up, we wanted to have the highest standards, academic rigor for Islamic finance, and to undertake research in the field, to be at the leading edge, at the frontier of the industry.
By 2012, the opening of a new campus in Lorong University A marked a new era, and in 2015, a decade of impact was sealed with the establishment of INCEIF Endowment Fund, a commitment to future generations.
When INCEIF was founded 20 years ago, it began with a simple belief that finance can be a force for good, a force that uplifts people, that builds trust, that protects our planet.
Where I think INCEIF has been a shining light, setting a path, important role of providing research, intelligence, and knowledge in the very important area of Islamic finance and other related areas.
In 2018, the introduction of the Action-Based Learning Program sparked innovation, while the AACSB accreditation brought global recognition.
Of course, when we receive international recognition of the accreditation, joining 6% the world's business schools, that was very gratifying.
And in March 2020, as global lockdowns took hold, INCEIF adapted quickly, moving online to launch the Executive Masters in Islamic Finance and the MBA in Sustainable Business.
INCEIF from Islamic finance, that's the initial area that we work, we have now gone beyond Islamic finance. We have gone into sustainability because these are important issues that must be addressed today. But while we look at sustainability, we look at Islamic finance, all of them are looked from the lens of Maqasid al-Sharia.
Consolidated as INCEIF Group, strengthened with ISTRA Institute and ISTRA Consulting, entered a new era of global ethical finance.
ISTRA Institute is privileged to be part of the whole INCEIF group to maneuver our journey together. We have achieved significant milestones throughout our 20 years journey.
And we cannot talk like this unless we have prepared ourselves for the first 20 years. So in other words, that base is just a base. We are starting to get into another era where critical mass is there. And INCEIF and the role of educational institutions, research centers of excellence, what INCEIF is poised. You have to be ready to serve the needs of our nation's development, but also to support, where applicable, around the world.
Behind every milestone were visionary scholars, mentors who expanded the frontiers of Islamic finance, shaping not just research, but the conscience of an industry.
So the last 20 years, I would say INCEIF have achieved a lot of good success, brought a lot of good memory, not only for us as a staff, but more importantly to all our stakeholders, especially to our graduates.
Our greatest legacy is our people. Alumni across 90 countries, faculty who inspire, and students who carry forward the torch of knowledge with conscience.
Those who are custodians in the field of knowledge, in this case INCEIF, Gedong Ilmu, this is the custodians of that knowledge, sacred knowledge even, needs to translate that with a view on what is actionable so that the ilmu to become ilmu manfaat.
INCEIF has been instrumental in developing Islamic finance talent worldwide. Its alumni network, over 2,400 across 85 countries, speaks volumes about its global footprint.
Today, INCEIF celebrates 2 decades of impact, driving policy, shaping economies, and advancing ethical finance worldwide.
If I could share one piece of advice, it will be this: stay true to your values. No matter how fast the world changes, stay true to your value.
You cannot have an ecosystem without knowledge, without light. And that knowledge and light, I believe, there are several, but certainly INCEIF fills that role.
One sentence, INCEIF is higher education or university that provides solutions to mankind.
The highly dynamic and ever-changing environment demands for new solutions, and therefore an entity, an institution like INCEIF needs to rise to produce the supply of talent that can address these kind of challenges.
This anniversary to me is more than a celebration. It reaffirms our collective mission to make Islamic finance a global benchmark for ethical, inclusive and impactful finance.
My hope is that INCEIF continues to shine as a beacon of knowledge and purpose.
I hope and I pray that all stakeholders will continue to support the growth of INCEIF.
I'm proud to be a part of these institutions. I really wish that INCEIF University prospers in the future.
And I wish another 20 years of great achievements and great impact.
I have progressed well, and I'm happy to see that INCEIF have progressed exceptionally well with full impacts.
Happy
20th anniversary
INCEIF University.
The global financial system is under strain. Crises, inequality, and imbalance raise urgent questions about the role and purpose of finance. At this critical moment, there is a call to reclaim finance, guided by values and responsibility.
I would make the contention that one of the globe or the world's major meta system, i.e. finance, is in trouble. There's many symptoms of that, from financial crisis, cost of living crisis, inequality crisis. They are taking more and more of the economic pie. Islam gives a grand narrative and a grand worldview, but it is up to researchers, scholars to translate that and up to practitioners to practice.
The world in the field of Islamic finance gravitated to INCEIF. We had faculty from all over the world and the best coming to INCEIF. Is it because of the vision of what we wanted to achieve to supply global talent?
Beyond its degree programs, INCEIF's executive education and certification programs have enriched many professionals in the finance field. And INCEIF has been a constant strategic partner to industry across Islamic finance. It worked closely with the Malaysian financial industry and supported other regulators and government agencies to design Islamic finance regulations and strengthen their capabilities.
At the moment, INCEIF is seen to be a very important institution, not only for the industry, but also for the regulators and for the policymakers. When we talk about Islamic finance, when we talk about sustainability, when we talk about developing policies, INCEIF must play a very important role, and it should play that role.
So that is what gives INCEIF its strength, a global outlook rooted in real-world connection. And as we look ahead, our mission is clear: to blend values with innovation and to turn knowledge into action. Because at INCEIF, we don't just teach finance, we shape a future that is fairer, more inclusive and grounded in ethics. That's our journey, that's our legacy.
INCEIF has grown into a global university of Islamic finance, producing leaders, thinkers, and innovators who have contributed to the strength and credibility of Malaysia's financial system. Malaysia's leadership in Islamic finance is widely recognized. With its strong governance framework, forward-thinking regulators, and institutions like INCEIF, our nation has become a global reference point where it is admired for its ability to combine Sharia integrity with modern innovation.